Recently, Tesla launched their humanoid robot, Optimus. They said it could be affordable and may act as our assistant in various settings of home and work. But is this really happening? How far is it for robot servants like Optimus can be seen walking on the sidewalk carrying our groceries around? A robot is basically a machine. But why don't we call our car engines, traffic lights, and fans robots? It's because a robot is commonly referred to as a smart, complex, and independent machine, almost on par with us humans. In 1961, the first modern robot was thought to be born. It's called 𝗏𝗏mate, a robotic arm that helps replace humans in repetitive and dangerous jobs, that is, mostly used in factories. It was indeed groundbreaking for its time. Fast forward 60 years later, robot development and adoption have been exploding. But how do we know they're exploding? We haven't seen them anywhere out in the streets right now. The reality is the robots may haven't arrived in our homes yet, but they have been serving us from the factories this whole time. From cars and electronics to our chemicals, we use products that have been made by robot servants every day. The growth of the robotic industry advancement is measured in a metric called robot density. It's a ratio calculation of how many robots exist compared to 10,000 human workers in a country. Looking at the recent data from the International Federation of Robotics, in 2015 the global robot density was 66, but only 6 years later, the number rose to 141. That's more than double! You would even be surprised when seeing some countries have these many robot densities. We may have already hundreds of millions of robots all around the world, working for us right now. But when can we expect them to be out of factories and going into the wild? Or is the dream of having non-industrial robots that serve us still a faraway reality? There are thousands of robot-focused companies around the world making things happen. The most famous one is probably Boston Dynamics, which is pushing the boundaries of making reliable robotic arms and legs. Boston Dynamics even inspired a Chinese counterpart who aspires to develop sophisticated robots like Boston Dynamics. If we can count self-driving cars as robots, some of us are for sure started seeing them around in the streets already, away from their factories. We've got Cruise, who publicly stated an ambition to launch 1 million robotaxi around the world by 2030, and their race to the target isn't without competition. We also have Tesla, Waymo, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘁, to even conventional car companies like BMW. But to set the expectation back to the ground, these self-driving cars' technology may come gradually in levels. For example, we have these 5 levels in self-driving cars space. Starting from level 1, which is pretty much a set of features to assist us to drive, to level 5, which the robot has full control over the car, allowing humans to sit quietly as the passengers. We can probably expect other kinds of robots would be similar in gradual deployment in terms of development. On another hand, we have companies that develop humanoid robot platforms. Similar to how we can install different kinds of apps on our smartphones, in the future, we might install different AI in robots' bodies to make them better for more specific tasks. For example, there's a company called Engineered Arts that is on the mission of bringing forth their humanoid robot platform, 𝗏𝗏mika, so that anyone can develop the AI later. Of course, we also have the famous Sophia, the first United Nations robot ambassador, who may fall into the same category. There's another category we may don't expect, which is robot pets. A company called Living.ai developed a cute pet robot called Emo. Unlike biological pets, you don't have to feed them. They'll hang around on your desk and may interact with you and develop its personality and even occasionally get the flu. But after knowing all this, it's not all about rainbows and sunshine. Because despite the benefits the robots will bring to society, we may always have to look to a different, pessimistic side of having robots coming into society. Across industries, we have stories like a recently launched McDonald's restaurant that is 100% operated by robots, to a mother in Scotland whose life was saved by a robot surgeon in innovative and precise surgery techniques. We may say that replacing humans with drones on battlefields to save their lives or replacing humans in a logistics industry to enable them to do something else more meaningful are ultimately good things. But how would we, as a society, be able to adapt to our new future quickly? As the job replacement level in the robotic industry may not be in 1-to-1 ratio, human workers would be displaced across industries. Here's an even scarier thought experiment. In general, we may remember how some of the most popular Western world pop references would picture robots as scary machines. But in some countries like Japan, they have pictured robots as friends or equals to human beings. It won't be a surprise if someday in the future countries like Japan may have a robot population that contributes hugely to their GDP and basically counts as their citizens. This sounds a lot like science fiction, but the government of Japan is seriously considering embracing the lifestyle of living together with robots by 2025. Sometimes, the most needed factor in rapid technological progress is a social revolution, similar to what happened to a social revolution that happened in Renaissance or Silicon Valley. Bill Gates suggests that humans should start looking for the meaning of life outside of our work, anticipating the upcoming robot age, because it may be the meaning for robots as the justification for their existence in the world. Although we may see them beyond our robot servants, at what point are we going to develop and exercise robot rights? In 1537, Paul III, the Pope at that time, released 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗃 Deus, a decision to humanize Native American people, admitting that they would also have hearts and minds, although the European imperialists at that time were using them as slaves. But humanity shall have sleepless nights, worrying about the uprising of robots, or the first historical intentional murder of a human by a robot someday in the future. So be cautious with your robot servant. There are a lot of technological and economical challenges in making science fiction of robot servants into reality. For most people, we may underestimate how hard it is to design humanoid robots that can hold our forks, open our doors, and walk like us, simply because so far, everything that we have right now is designed for us, humans. The robots are the ones who should do the adapting, but if you think about it, it's similar to how children eventually adapt to the real world. They just need time and education. Although many people said that Tesla's Optimus technology isn't all that impressive, they have the manufacturing capability that no other robot companies have. Tesla could be the game changer by making robots actually affordable. With the rise of AI, renewable energy, virtual reality, space technology, and now robots, the decade of the 30s could be really different from what we'd imagine they would be. So, can humanity in the future define their meaning of life by living peacefully, relaxing on the beach, and watching Netflix all day while being served by our robot servants, rather than defining life's meaning in a way of traditional career aspirations? It's up to us to pursue the meaning in a world where we won't have to work anymore.